Hey guys, Kayla Payne here. So I wanted to make this little video for you today to talk about that ultimate paint supply list for painting cabinetry and furniture that I sent to you the other day. If you've had a chance to look that list over and you found it to be overwhelming because maybe you're not familiar with using some of these products, I wanted to break it down a bare bones way, a step-by-step, and show you the order and the process of using these things. So if you are maybe looking to paint your own kitchen cabinetry or some furniture, you will know exactly what products to use and when. All right, guys, if you would just grant me a little bit of grace and forgive me for the state that my shop is in right now. It's been totally crazy and really busy here, so it's a little bit disheveled and worse than normal. But anyway, so first things first, before I start anything, I always like to clean especially kitchen cabinets. So this is TSP, which stands for trisodium phosphate, which it comes in a powder form, and I like to mix it with super hot water and in like a mop bucket or just in the sink or whatever, and put on nitrile gloves and just wash everything down with this, okay? It will remove grease and dirt and grime better than anything else, okay? So this is first step first with anything that I paint, okay? And then comes sanding. So this is my little sander that's in the list. I actually have two different sanders on my list, but this one is just a really budget friendly. It's a DeWalt Orbital, pardon me. You can see we actually just used this earlier today on some cabinets, so it's totally gross. And then the sanding discs, these are 150. I kind of go between 150 and 220 for sanding cabinetry and furniture as well. Okay, so after sanding, I usually do my spot putty. This is a Bondo spot putty. I know you can't really see it. It's got overspray all over it, really, but it's on the list. This is great for filling dents and dings, especially in furniture, or if you've got some maybe really stubborn grain on cabinetry or furniture that you really want to cover up. This is great with a putty knife, and so that's after sanding. And then you sand that down. Usually I will use one of these sanding sponge blocks, and this I love this 3M sandpaper. Love this stuff. It's really flexible, and it comes in these pre-cut little sheets. So sand your Bondo and any fine finish sanding. This is 150, but I also do 220 with that. Okay, so then you're going to clean everything up, whether it's your cabinetry or furniture, with a vacuum cleaner, and then I like to wipe everything down with denatured alcohol and a clean microfiber cloth. Put on your nitrile gloves. Let me reach. Hang on. I just usually get these black nitrile gloves. Don't get latex. Get the nitrile. So you're just gonna glove up, microfiber cloth that's dry, and wipe everything down with denatured alcohol, okay? Because that's gonna remove your TSP residue and any remaining dust, dirt, grime, whatever. All right, so then we're gonna do primer. So this is shellac-based primer that I buy from Sherwin-Williams. But this one is super popular. This is from Zinsser. It's just the bin. I'm sure you see people all the time talking about the bin primer. This is shellac-based primer from Zinsser. You can get at Home Depot. I believe you can get it at Lowe's. From Amazon, it's on the list. But since I'm in Sherwin-Williams all the time, I just buy theirs typically. Same stuff, okay? This is the exact same stuff, but I like to use this. Now, it's alcohol-based, so you have to clean it with denatured alcohol, okay? This is the only thing that you can thin it and clean it up with. You can't use mineral spirits, lacquer thinner, acetone, whatever. Use denatured alcohol with shellac, okay? Now, if you are really, really just absolutely dead set against using a solvent-based primer, then the only waterborne primer I would recommend that I have found so far is Stix. So, and you can Google this where you can buy it locally to you, or I'm sure you can buy it online. I do not have this linked in my supply list because I prefer to use shellac, but this is a waterborne alternative that is pretty good. And you have to thin this out with a little bit of water because it's really thick stuff. If you're spraying, you need to thin this down with water, okay? All right, so we've sanded, talked about our primer. After primer, I always like to sand again to get it nice and smooth. And to do that, I go back to one of these sponges and a piece of 220 flexible paper. Lightly sand. In fact, you don't even have to use one of these. If you just want to use a fine sponge, you can do that. Lightly sand the surface. You're going to feel it smooth as butter, okay? Then you're going to clean it up again. I know it's a lot, but seriously, when they say it's all in the prep work, it's really the truth. It's all in the prep work, guys, okay? Your top coat will look like junk if you've not done the proper prep. So even though this stinks and you're thinking, oh my gosh, it just sounds like too much, I'm going to give up, don't give up. It's not that bad. Just do the proper prep, okay? Anyway, so sand your primer, clean it up, and then comes top coat. If I'm doing cabinetry, this is the product that I have found that I love. I am not being paid to say this, I promise you. I just love it. I have used so many water-based paints, top coats, and this is the only one that I have found that I love. By the way, this is made by PPG, and you'll just have to Google, if you're interested in using this, Google it, go to their website, and search if you can buy it locally, okay? All right, now hang on, I missed something real quick. Let me go back to the shellac-based primer. These are the rollers that I have listed in that supply list that I like for shellac. It just makes it lay down pretty nice and neat. Still needs some sanding, of course, afterwards, but I really like these little guys, okay? And then for breakthrough, what I have found works best to make this lay down are these flock foam. Also, Sherwin-Williams, you can buy them at other places. You don't have to get Sherwin-Williams, but that's just, like I said earlier, it's where I'm at all the time. So these are flock foam, okay? Foam, but they've got, it's not just a foam, it's just got this little, kind of like a real thin layer of like a velour kind of thing over it. Okay, so there's that. Now, brush alike, got linked to this little guy. He's really cheapy. I know a lot of people love the really expensive brushes, and I'm sure they're wonderful and great. But man, I have found that these just do a really good job. So I like these guys. Now, that is for cabinetry. If I'm painting high gloss furniture, I do exactly the same steps, except for I don't put the breakthrough on. I use this. This is Holland Lac Brilliant. This is a oil-based enamel paint from Fine Paints of Europe. It's super, super, super glossy. They have it in satin. I've never used the satin because if I'm going to buy this product, I always, I'm looking for the high gloss. So that's why I buy the Holland Lac Brilliant. Okay, I hope that maybe that condensed all of that stuff in the product list down to something a little more manageable, I hope. Please let me know if this helped or if you have any other questions. I would be happy to answer them for you. Except for if you're gonna ask me how to clean up after using this shellac-based primer, I got you covered because next week I'm gonna be in your inbox again, cleaning out a brush and possibly even showing you how to clean out a gravity-fed spray gun that's got shellac in it, okay? So I will teach you how to clean that out because it's really intimidating. I remember the first time having to clean out a solvent-based paint, and it just freaked me out. And I get that question from readers a lot, like, how do I clean it up? Cleanup scares me. Clean up, clean up, clean up. So I know that's on a lot of minds. So I want to put that to bed, and I will show you how to do that next week. So holler at me if you have any other questions.